What's up, guys? Scoob from Dirt Soldiers MX and the Motocross Training Academy. Thanks for checking out the video. I surely do appreciate it. Alright, what I want to talk to you about today is these rutted corners and getting your bike into these rutted corners and doing these rutted corners with confidence, with, you know, coming in them and killing these things, tearing it up, killing these rutted corners. What I see and a lot of the times with beginner and amateur riders, and don't worry, I was there myself until I figured this out. Matter of fact, I can tell you a story real quick. I used to go to a track, and you know, for like 3 weeks in a row, because I knew corners were the key. You know, I never went to school back then, but I knew corners were the key, because you know, a lot of people would tell me guys that were fast, but what I do is I go to that track and never ride the whole track. I'd be there for 8 hours. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was no natural at this, guys. No natural at this at all. Believe me, I had to bust my butt to figure this stuff out. And I was kind of an introvert. I didn't talk to a lot of people. It's kind of funny how I do these videos because a lot of people, you know, I am an introvert. That's just what I am. I'm not very outgoing, but I love helping people, and I love giving back what I learned in this sport to other people. But anyhow, I'd go to these tracks, and you know, I never taught, you know, I had my buddies or whatever, but I never asked a lot of people for advice. I just figured it all out on my own, which in the long run turned me into a way better teacher. It helped me tremendously because I figured all this stuff out and eventually went on to be a pro rider. But what I do was some of my things, and what I do at the track when I get there was for like weeks on a row and weeks on end, I would go to the track and honestly pick like one corner and never ride the other part of the track. For 8 hours I'd ride that corner. I mean, I literally mean that. Like 8 hours in a day I would just hammer that corner. Dude, what that'll do for you, that kind of commitment, I know that's hard to do, but it's unbelievable, you know. Or then I would move from that corner, but I would just do a corner all day, and it just totally helped me so much. So I quit rambling on there. I know I sometimes make these videos long. I apologize. So what I want to show you today is you got to lean that bike over. A lot of amateurs fail to realize. They get scared. They get a little fearful of leaning that bike over far because they feel like it's going to fall over. What you need to do is counterbalance that. That's what builds the confidence. And what a lot of people will tell you, and which is correct, is to weight that outside peg. But there's more to it than that. You want to weight down through your leg into the butt end of the seat, and you want to use your upper body as a counterbalance also, your shoulders. And what you do is you always keep your shoulders nice and square facing to where they want to go, but you move the bike laterally through your shoulders. You move laterally to find a center of balance, and you keep these elbows nice and high away from your body here. You don't do it like Ronnie Mack does it. I know. Listen, Ronnie Mack's a good rider. I can guarantee you that. That's why he gets away to do that goon riding like he does. But you don't want to keep your elbows because you have no leverage to lean this bike over if your elbows are down here by your side. You want to keep them nice and high. Okay, that gives you the leverage to lean this bike over. And what you do is you kind of, you don't have to go crazy with this and lean way to the outside, but you use a little bit of your shoulder, your upper body to the outside of the bike, and you put the weight down through your outside of your body here and down into your leg and down into the foot peg. And that creates the counterbalance. It'll give you the confidence to lean this bike over. A lot of guys will tell you that this leg right here is the counterbalance. This leg is not the counterbalance. I mean, look at Villapoto doing a turn to the left here. He's coming into a corner on the left, and you're putting your left leg out. How's that a counterbalance? That's not your counterbalance. The two things this leg does is, it does two things. It's number one, it's got to come off, because as you start to lean this bike over farther, look, you can't really see his foot peg, but you can tell how close. If his foot was on that foot peg right there, it's a great chance when you start leaning this bike over so far that it's going to get ripped off. That's why you have to take the bike there. I mean, not the bike, the foot off the foot peg coming in the left leg. The other reason is to keep the bike from actually falling over if you do get it a little bit too far. And you'll see, I'll play this video in a second, Villapoto actually does that. But you don't want to lock it out. This is good technique right here, nice and tight. But as you are going to power out of here, you want to bend that knee a little bit so it's not locked out. But you don't want it on this foot peg, all right? And so that's the key, guy. You got to lay this bike over, lean it over farther, and you realize to get this tire to fit in this rut like a glove. I mean, just imagine if this thing was up just a little bit higher. That thing's going to catch the sidewall of this rut, usually this tire or that fork, and that's going to kill you right there. You're done, okay? So let's watch Villapoto come through here. You can actually see his leg, what he uses that leg for. Bring it up a little bit. Now see how far he's leaned over there? He's starting to power now. This is his exit deck. He's getting on his throttle. See how he leaned forward into the force of acceleration from the upper body. You keep the upper body nice and loose. He's a little bit to the outside here. As you get better with this, you don't have to exaggerate it so much. But use this as the counterbalance right here. You put no weight in the shoulder. Don't put weight in the shoulder. What that'll do is if you put weight, that'll twist this body either down, or if you don't keep this elbow nice and high, it will force you, as you start to throttle, to pull you back this way, you know, to the outside, out of the center of balance. So that's another reason you keep that elbow nice and high. This inside elbow, just keep it nice and loose. Just go with the flow with it. A way to keep that elbow up is to over grip this throttle, okay? But that weight now is more to the outside of the bike. That's your counterbalance and going to give you the confidence to lay that sucker over. It comes down through the leg, down into the foot peg, and then press on the foot peg, okay? There's that leg out. That's not your counterbalance. Now watch as he comes through. Boom. See his leg right there? That's what you use it for. Look at that bike. I mean, look how laid over that bike is. Look how he's more to the outside here. There's his counterbalance. Bring it back a second. Just look at his bike. I mean, look at how leaned over that thing is, and look how that tire fits in there perfect. If he was up this way a little bit more, ain't gonna happen. He's done. You know what I mean? That's it, guys. That's how you do it. Now, here's one more thing I want to show you. Let's watch through this video up to Nick Way's coming. You can see these guys use their legs. Watch, see him, boom, dab it a little bit. Now watch Seeley, boom, dab it a little bit, and then back to the foot peg. Get that foot to the foot peg as quick as you can. When you're exiting out, Seeley actually, honestly, I would get that thing back on her. That's where you get the control, right? Now here comes, let me show you this. Here comes Nick Way. Here's the other little thing to this. If you're braking, you always want to be braking, okay? Braking or accelerating. So you want to be braking. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. A lot of times into this corner, right up to the point where you're going to get back on the throttle and exit out. So how do you keep weight on the? If you're going to be braking, how do you keep weight? Well, what you do is you want to do a rear brake drag, okay? You always want to be dragging that rear brake. That's going to help. That's going to suck on the suspension a little bit, hold your line. It'll pull this front wheel back into the inside a little bit. That'll hold it in. But you don't want to be, putting a lot of weight down like you would on the foot peg for a counterbalance. So it's a fine technique. That's why you need to shift some of the weight. Don't weight your shoulder, but just lean more laterally more and keep that elbow out to the outside. That'll create the counterbalance and put it down through your outside butt down into the leg. But if you're braking, keep feathering that brake, rear brake drag. Just don't, if you're going to push that really hard like you would on a foot peg for counterbalance, that's going to mess you all up. You're going to be over braking. That's why you got to keep more of the weight to the outside up through here as a counterbalance to lay that bike over so far. You can actually see Nick here. Watch him. You can see him braking. This is awesome technique, actually. Really good technique. Actually, a little bit better than Villapoto, believe it or not. Watch how he's braking here. Does perfect technique, because what's happening is your foot's look at that bike leaned over. Look how it fits in that rut, perfect. So, but anyhow, he's braking, and he's gonna, because he's up on the high on the tank, he's gonna lift he's gonna have his foot off the foot peg, be braking. You can see him lift it off the brake and put it back to the foot peg. Watch his foot. Boom, right there. It's time to power out. That's it, guys. Lay that bike over farther. Look at that, coming into that corner. One more time. Let's get back. Boom. See, and you, look, he's not even in the rut. The rut's not even back here. And look how far he has the bike leaned over already. You got to lean that bike over and set it up to get into this corner right. You got to lean it over earlier than what you realize also. And use this counterbalance to feel confidence on this outside leg, this outside shoulder, and this leg on the foot peg. But lean it over earlier than you realize, to set it up to fit right in there. If Nick was more straight up and down, it's going to catch right here. You're done. You're the game over. You got to shut the throttle off, regroup yourself, and get back into it. All right, guys. I want to show you one more thing real quick. I want to show you how far you can actually lean this bike over. And this is proof how far you can lean this bike over. We got Nelson and Seeley here. Now watch this. I'm going to turn the volume down. That's all right. Jam to the music. watch this right here. We got Jesse Nelson on this side. Watch this. Boom. What Nelson's doing here, let me see if I get a little bit, I mean, you can see it there, but look at that. That's how far you can actually lean a bike over. Look at that. He's completely on the sidewall of that tire. And he's, I mean, watch him. He don't slide out. He comes off the jump and goes. What he's doing there is a scrub. But look how he leans it over, come up the face of the jump. I mean, look at that. That's how far you can lean a bike over. And you don't realize that. Obviously, the tire needs to be good. So that's a big thing. Always keep good tires on your bike. But what Nelson actually doing here is a scrub, okay? And I'm going to make a video on that. And, but I almost feel like explaining it now to you. But I'm already making this video long. But he's doing a scrub here. But that's how far you can lean that bike over. All right, guys. Get that bike leaned over. Use your outside leg down into the foot peg as a counterbalance. Use your outside of your body up through your shoulder to go more to the outside of the bike to create weight on the outside as a counterbalance. Put the weight down into your butt, into the seat as the counterbalance. This will allow you to lay that bike over farther, lean it over farther to set you up to get that wheel to fit into that rut like a glove, and you can just kill it then, because now it's like a roller coaster on rails. You're locked in, you're in that thing, you can hammer out of there. All right, guys, listen, go to the Motocross Training Academy. Sign up. Couple videos to come. Listen, this thing is going to transform the way you ride, guaranteed. How do I know? Because I've done it with hundreds and hundreds of kids and adults. This thing builds massive confidence. It's going to transform the way you ride. It's going to make you a better, more safer, more experienced, with more flow, with good bad habits, become one on the bike, flow on the bike. It's all going to happen at the Motocross Training Academy. Get over there. The link's below. Sign up, and you'll be notified when it's released. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.